Alright, so now that we have read, annotated, and fully understood the articles, we've gathered together the information into a sort of cohesive way of understanding it, what I'd like to do now is use this information to inform our audience in an expository or informational essay. The essay is going to be about the coronavirus, COVID-19. As I scroll through the different articles and pieces of information that I've gathered, I find that I have enough information. I don't have to do extra or supplementary research for my essay. And before I actually write the essay, what I usually like to do is create a brief outline. That way I have all the information that I need for the different and various parts of my essay. So what I'm going to be doing is writing an expository essay, which is very similar, or if not the same thing, to an informational essay. You may be familiar with the 5-paragraph essay, and that is what I'm going to be using today. In order to write an expository essay, I need to start off with my introductory paragraph. Since I'm going to be explaining information in this essay, which is the purpose of an expository essay, I want to make sure that my audience understands everything that I'm saying. So starting off, I want to create an introduction and provide background information as my hook for my audience. Then I want to state what the essay is going to be about. This is my main topic, also known as the thesis statement. Finally, I'm going to have 3 minor topics as my body paragraphs. These are my minor topic paragraphs. And for my purposes, I'm going to need 3 different minor topics. For the next paragraph that I'll be writing is my body paragraph. These are the minor topic paragraphs, and they are going to be structured similarly to each other. The first thing that I'm going to do, zoom in for you a little bit here, is I'm going to transition and explain my minor topic. After that, I want to explain. After I feel as though my information has been explained thoroughly for my audience, I want to provide evidence, and that is going to come from a credible and relevant source. Then I want to explain my evidence and connect it back to my thesis. I'm going to do this 3 times. So I'm just going to copy and paste. And then rounding off the end of my essay, I'm going to have a concluding paragraph. For my concluding paragraph, I'm going to transition and restate my thesis. I'm going to restate, in summary, my minor topics. Then I'm going to end with a powerful final universal statement about my topic as a whole. So let's see what an outline for this essay might look like. So I'm writing, again, an expository essay based off of the coronavirus / COVID-19. I think my minor topics are going to be, first off, what is it? After that, how is it affecting the world? And then finally, what should people do about it? So let's turn this into our minor topic paragraphs, our body paragraphs for the essay. So minor topic paragraph number 1 is, what is the coronavirus? I like to pose my minor topic paragraphs as questions in my outline because an expository is explaining or providing information. So if I pose a question for myself, I find that in my essay, I'm actually providing answers rather than asking questions. So first off, we need to gather up evidence. So I found in Article 3 information and definitions about the coronavirus itself. So I'm just going to be pulling out some details here. These are going to be my direct quotes that support my overall information for my essay. So in Article 3, there's a line that said, remember that a pandemic. Now, in the essay itself, it was pandemic was actually surrounded by quotation marks, such as these. But since I'm providing this line as a potential direct quote, I already need to quote my direct quote with quotation marks, and so that will turn these quotation marks into just a single apostrophe on both sides of what was originally quoted. So remember that a pandemic describes a disease's spread, not its severity. Now, I'm not going to take the entire quote, the entire sentence itself. So in order to show my audience as a sort of symbol that I have cut the sentence short, I'm going to use the ... which is known as the ellipsis, which indicates to my audience that I have left out information. Just a further note is that pandemic is a disease spreading over the world or a country. In another line, I found the novel coronavirus called SARS-CoV-2, and the disease it causes, COVID-19. So just some information and verbiage and terminology that I might be able to use in my essay. And again, COVID-19 was a respiratory infection like the flu. Another bit of information I found from Article 1, some more definitions. Found definitions about the types of bacteria that can be found on the skin. And in this article, it said that there are 2 types of bacteria that live on our hands: resident bacteria, which are rarely implicated in infection and are good for the skin, and transient bacteria, which we humans pick up on our fingertips when we touch surfaces. The latter are the ones we want to remove. I found a definition for the neurovirus, which is a contagious virus. I looked that up myself. Note that I did not put quotation marks around what information that I have gathered on my own. The quotation marks indicate that I am pulling this directly from the source provided, which for this case would be Article 1. And then I also looked up the definition of a virus, which I found, again, is the disease that rapidly replicates inside a host's body and cells. All right, so I think that's enough information for my first body paragraph of my expository essay. The body paragraph discussing and related to what is the coronavirus, providing definitions and just a brief overview. I've always found that providing background information early on in your essay helps your audience to further and better understand or comprehend your essay, which is absolutely essential for them when reading what you've written. All right, so I'm going to move on to my minor topic 2, which was how is the coronavirus affecting the world? First off, in Article 2, they talk a lot about how it's affecting education. So for Article 2, they talk a little bit about remote education or home instruction or in-home schooling, however you want to phrase it. The information was kind of the same. So this is from Article 2, and I found the direct quote: the spread of the coronavirus means few school classes in South Korea. Adding on to this information, from the same article, I found on February 27th, Japan went even further Then South Korea, closing schools nationwide through March because of the fast spreading coronavirus. Also in this article, people have mixed feelings, which is all I'm going to quote from the text, about the decision to close schools. One pre-teens Hagwon classes, which are similar to secondary supplementary forms of education, have, and then here's my direct quote. So I'm going to start this quote not at the beginning of the sentence, and in order to show my audience that I started this quote midway through the sentence, I'm going to again use the ellipsis, the ... and I'm going to quote directly from the text. Doubled or even tripled her homework to make up for the class cancellations. Children weren't allowed in classrooms unless they were wearing masks and parents, this is a direct quote by the way, excuse me, and parents weren't allowed to attend the graduation ceremony. Again, a mix of my own words and direct quote. Parents are, and I'm going to start halfway through the line, the sentence, worried about the, and again, this was quoted originally within the text, and so to show that it was originally quoted within the text, I'm going to take out the quotation marks and just use an apostrophe on both sides of what was originally quoted, education gap caused by the virus. Despite the government's strong advice to close down, 2/3 of the 25,000 Hagwon in the South Korean capital have stayed open. South Korea's educational chief, Cho Hee-yeon, said she might be, now here's my direct quote, considering videotaping or live streaming her reading and essay writing class for students. And then from Article 3, found information stating the coronavirus is scary, and that is, in and of itself, an issue. Further information regarding that and supporting that is the problem with scary things is that we aren't very good at reacting to them. We fear what we don't understand, and what we fear, we seek to control. Ultimately, again, these are all direct quotes directly from the text. The most important thing to do is not to panic, because panic is a killer. You'll notice that I am creating different bullet points and indentations, and this is for my purposes. These are just going to help me be able to accurately and quickly find the information later on when I am writing up my actual essay. And my last bit of information is that reports are out that people are panic buying everything from toilet paper to ibuprofen. Alright, so my last body paragraph is going to be about what people should do. So minor topic 3, what should people do? So, precautionary measures related from Article 3. Alright, whatever, I'm just going to leave the formatting like that for now. So wearing a mask when you're sick. Stay home if you are feeling unwell. Covering your mouth and nose when you cough or sneeze. Seeking medical care early on. Relying on others whenever possible, if needed. Stop touching your face. And then wash your hands. In Article 1, it gives us a detailed instruction or set of instructions on how to properly wash our hands. And those are, first, to get hands wet, rub palms together, interlink fingers and rub them together, place fingertips of one hand in the palm of the other and rub, create a lather, rinse and dry hands, and then also from Article 3, it said to avoid panic. In answering the question, what should people do? This is definitely an important detail that we'll want to include not only in our essay, but also near the end of the essay, because it's a powerful detail and it will bring our ideas to a solid close. So this is all from Article 3. Coronavirus is scary, and that is in itself an issue. Now, just because I'm adding information to my outline here, it doesn't mean that I actually need to use it in my actual essay. It's rather to be over-prepared than under-prepared. Just don't let fear control you. And then finally, take a deep breath. Remember that pandemic describes a disease's spread, not its severity, and keep an eye on the news. All right, so I know that was a lot of typing, and for a lot of you that might be more typing than you are actually willing to do for your essay. But like I said, I think it's really important to make sure that not only have we gathered information in a relevant and resourceful way, but also that information is organized so that when it comes time to actually writing our essay, it'll be a lot easier to write the essay, and so we can just kind of plug and chug the information in as we go, which I'm going to do next. So stay tuned, and we will write an expository essay together.